presenting a webinar topic on drought and shade management in coffee. Especially two topics today I'm covering, drought management, one, and shade management. First, I will talk on the drought management, and later on we'll speak on the shade management in coffee. So let's start with the drought management. So as all of you know that coffee is a perennial crop and it's growing under the shades, and it requires optimum conditions for its growth and development. If any variations in this growth and if any variations in climatic parameters will see the effects on the physiology of the coffee plants. Over the years, we have analyzed the rainfall data, maximum and minimum temperature at Western Ghats of India. What we found in these results is till since from 1927 to till date, we have taken the rainfall data and maximum and minimum temperatures. What we have observed in these parameters till 2000, it is okay. We used to receive the correct time rainfall, and maximum and minimum temperature was optimum. But after later onwards, 2000 to till date, we are receiving rainfall at uneven times. So it means it's unpredictable things, and insufficient summer showers we are receiving, and that leads to some of the floral abnormalities in coffee. And also this maximum temperature and minimum temperature, it is also increasing. So the temperature which coffee requires is 32 degrees Celsius, but now we are seeing 34 degrees Celsius at present conditions. And even the minimum temperature, what we are observing is 19 degree of minimum temperature is there. It is and also you can see the relative humidity. It's not coming down to 60. If it comes to the 60, we can predict the rain. If it not comes to below 60, you cannot able to predict this range. So this maximum temperature, summer temperature, especially 1 degree Celsius is increasing right now. And minimum temperature is increasing by 0.5 degrees Celsius. In coffee, what we are telling is, if 1 degree Celsius it increases, it affects the quality of the coffee. If 2 degrees Celsius increases, it affects the crop yield. If 3 degrees Celsius increase, coffee bushes are struggle to survive. So we have to think on this, and we have to maintain our coffee under the shades, because shade is very important. 2-tier shade canopy in arabica and robusta is very important to bring down these temperatures. So how to bring down and how to mitigate this drought during the stress conditions? I am having some of the ameliorative measures and sprays for this to mitigate this drought. Let's see those all things in the upcoming slides. So drought, it is the considerable period of the non-receipt of the summer showers and causes significant damage to the plant or crop. Under South Indian conditions, we have a minimum of 3 to 4 months drought is there. And in severe conditions, we are observing this up to 6 months. And it mainly affects the physiology of the coffee plant and reduces the yield. So what are the effects we will see on the plants during the stress conditions? Mainly it affects the growth and development. If you take this growth and development, we will see the two parts. One is the vegetative part and reproductive parts. In vegetative parts, what we are going to see during the stress condition is the wilting. So whenever the foreign particles enters into our body, we will show some of the symptoms like sickness. So plants and animal system is also same. Only thing is the cell membrane, humans are having the cell membranes and plants are having the cell walls. So first symptoms, what we see on the plants is the wilting symptoms. If the high temperature is there, we will see some of the scorching on the leaves. And it will also affect the pollinations and fertilizations. Later on, it will also affect the fruit setting and affect the final cup of coffee. So this is the vegetative parts. These all things we will see. So, such as wilting and small leaf formation. Yes, of course, the leaf should be of, the leaf area should be of 17 centimeters square in case of arabica and 27 centimeters square in arabica to produce 3 fruits in case of arabica and 6 fruits in case of robusta. Means 1:3 and 1:6. In arabica, one leaves will give us 3 fruits. In robusta, 1 leaves will give us 6 fruits. If it affects by high temperatures, the scorching will be seen, and there won't be any of the carbohydrate resource in the leaves. So second thing is reproductive parts. First it will affect the vegetative part, and later on it will affect the reproductive, such as the floral abnormalities. Floral abnormalities means some of the deformities we'll see on the flowers. Means the pinking we'll see, padding we'll see, snake mouth flowers we'll see, and also some of the droppings will also be seen, and it will affect the reproductive systems. And in severe conditions, it will affect the bean quality also. Bean defects we will see, and it leads to formation of some of the pea berry formations, and also B grade beans we will see in severe stress conditions. So drought effects, if sufficient soil moisture is there in the plants will be of healthier conditions, and it will produce good blossoms. If there is a lack of soil moisture, it will go under wilting and also defoliation, yellowing, and followed by the defoliations. Of lack of the soil moisture, if it is a lack of soil moisture, we will see this padding and the star flowers. In case of robusta, we will see this pinking and snake mouth flowers, especially this pinking. Whenever you receive the insufficient showers, the flower buds will move. Means that these flower bud initiations will take place during the September onwards. The main factor responsible for this flower initiations are the short day conditions, carbon and nitrogen ratios, as well as endogenous hormonal levels. If there is a cytokinin, if gibberellic acid is there, you will find more of this vegetative growth than the reproductive growth. After elongation, so it will go under the dormant stage, and whenever you give the irrigations, it will move. Later on, if you found any stress conditions, this flower move will turn into a pink colors. Later on, it will drop off. So second thing is the snake mouth flowers. Whenever the insufficient moisture is there in the soil, these pistils and stamens will come out from the flowers. So you will not get any pollinations and fertilizations. So it will affect the fruit set later onwards. So commonly in arabica, fruit set will be of 80 to 90% under the normal conditions. If enough soil moisture is there, you will find 80 to 90% of the fruit settings. If it goes less than the 18 to 90%, the main reasons for this are the floral abnormalities, such as pinking, padding, and snake mouth flowers. And it leads to a lack of pollinations because of the stamens and pistils will be not matured, and you will get fertilization. After the pollinations, fertilizations will get affected, and fruit setting will not be there properly. Will not be there in arabica, and also some of the exposure to sunlight, because 2-tier shade canopy is must for the arabica. If you expose to more of sunlight, this pollination and fertilizations will be affected. So this is in case of the arabica. And look at the robusta coffee. It is also similar kinds, where the main fruit set will be of 70 to 95% under enough soil moisture conditions or optimum soil moisture conditions. If it goes less than the 70%, means the main problems will be the floral abnormalities, because it has the plant undergone stress conditions. So you will get floral abnormalities, and the lack of pollination. Later on, it will not get pollinations after 6 hours of the flower opening, and fertilization will not be take place after opening of the flower, and also it will affect the fruit settings. So another thing is the non-uniformity in running blossoms will also be an main reasons for lower fruit set in case of robusta crop. So later onwards, after setting of the flowers, the buds will be under pinnate stage. During this time, whenever plants experiences stress, you will find this browning and blackening on the berries. Browning and blackening. Later on, these will drop off subsequently. And the main reasons for this are the non-receipt of the summer showers, that is the stress, plants are undergone the stress, and it will failure of the fertilized ovary to develop, and prolonged drought and exposure to the high temperatures are the main reasons for this browning and blackening in coffee. So some of the bean defects will also be seen on the coffee plants. It is mainly because of the depletion of soil moisture and also exposure to the high temperatures. and it is commonly seen during the early rapid swelling stage, that is 42 to 1 or 2 days after flowering. It means that fruit setting will take 7 to 42 to 212 days, and normally, and in case of robusta, 6 to 8 weeks will be more. So during this time, whenever the plants experiences stress, we will get a bean defects, and that results in a more of pea berries, and it will reduce the bean size, and you will get more of the B grade beans. And it won't affect the quality of the coffee, but quality of the coffee is good. But you will get reduce the yield. So some of the post-set losses after the flowering and fruit setting, you will find these things. First one, the post-blossom floral abnormality. Second, during the monsoon times. During the monsoon time, premature fruit drop will be seen. That is 92 to 120 days. In between 92 to 120 days, we will see this premature berry drop. It is mainly because of the excess rain. And we'll call it as a wet feet conditions. Whenever the plants, whenever the soil is filled with 100% of the soil, water, then you will get this premature fruit drop. Other predisposing factors for the under normal conditions, 5 to 8% of the dropping will be there in arabica, and in robusta 15 to 20%. It is a normal thing, normal phenomenon. So if it goes more than that, the main reasons for this are the wet feet. First, second, predisposing factors are some of the diseases like black rot and stopper disease. That leads to the premature berry drop in case of arabica and robusta coffee also. So some of the unseasonal rains, it will also affect the quality. Quality of the coffee will be affected because of the unseasonal rains. So how to mitigate this drought? It's one of the challenging thing. It is only by way of growing drought tolerant cultivars. Second thing is by adopting some of the sprays, that is ameliorative sprays. And third one is with the help of some of the reflectants. Spraying of reflectants on the coffee plants will help to mitigate this drought effects. So in arabica, all the arabica cultivars are relatively drought tolerant, and robusta cultivars are drought susceptible. It is only because of robusta it's having a shallow rotate and arabica it's having a deep rotate. We will not see much of this drought effects on the arabica. Mainly we will see this one on the robusta cultivars. So if you are having, these are all some of the drought tolerant cultivars in case of arabica, but robusta we are not having. We need to adopt some of the strategies to mitigate this drought. So some of the physiological approaches are the irrigation scheduling. If you are having enough source of waters, and when to give this one, it is only based on the requirement of the plants, or whenever the plant needs, you give this irrigations. So you will save the energy also. So this is one of the technique we developed at CCRI, that is the cobalt fluoride paper disc method. It helps to schedule the irrigations and also helps for the uniform blossomings, and also it helps for the improving your yield. So simple techniques, and it helps to irrigation scheduling and helps to achieve the uniform blossom in robusta. And also it helps to prioritize the irrigation schedule, and also helps to achieve the uniform blossom by adopting this technique in robusta coffee. So how to do this one? It's the simplest and easiest way. That is, we have to take the Wattman #1 filter papers, and you have to submerge it in 10% cobalt chloride solutions. How to prepare this 10% cobalt chloride solution? You have to take 10 grams of cobalt chloride and dissolve it in 100 ml distilled water. After that, making these solutions, you have to submerge this Wattman #1 filter paper in the solution for 10 seconds. And later on, you have to warm dry it for 5 to 6 hours. Some of them may ask, we are not having the Wattman #1 filter paper, and we are not having the warm dry. Even also you can dry it in the sun for 2 to 3 hours. It turns to deep blue colors. If you are not having a Wattman #1, you can take the A4 sheets for making these ones. So after drying it, after making, confirming that it has come to the deep blue color, you have to make a disc of 0.5 mm with the punching machines, and you have to store it in the glass vials with an indicator silica gel, because it should not expose to the air. If it exposed to the air, it turns to pink again. So you have to take care so that the moisture should not enter in the silica gels. And after baking this disc, you have to attach this disc to the lower surface of the third pair of the leaf with the help of 2 glass slides and the plastic clips. Later on, you have to observe the time taken to change the color on the disc from blue to pink. If time taken to change the color from blue to pink is 7 minutes, then you have to decide to give the sprinkler irrigation to the plants. Plants is undergoing the stress. You have to understand that the plants is undergoing the stress and you have to provide the irrigations. If it comes to 6 minutes, if time taken to change the color from blue to pink is 6 minutes, and you have to continuously observe for the next 3 days, next 3 to 4 days. If it doesn't come, you have to understand that plants has not gone under, enough soil moisture is there in the soils and plants are healthier. This is the simplest technique we develop, and adopt this and schedule your irrigation. This is one of the video we made it here. How to prepare this CCPD techniques. And you have to attach to the third pair of the leaf like this. It is earlier blue-green color. So it helps to schedule the irrigations for robusta coffee based on the internal water content. So how to do it? You have to select 10 plants per acre randomly, and time when to do is 12 to 2 p.m. This is a critical. 12 to 2 p.m. you have to go to the field and you have to attach this in the third pair of the leaves. So this is a Workman number 1. We have prepared the solutions here and we have one dried it. Earlier it is pink and after drying it has become a blue color. So these are the solutions, cobalt chloride, and 10 grams we have taken it and we have dissolved in 100 ml of distilled water. After making the disc, we are doing your disc with the help of punching machine, which is available in our home or in the office. You can take that and do the disc by punching these papers. And you have to store in the glass wires with the silk lines. And you have to attach this to the third pair of the leaf using the glass like lids and record the time required for change of color from deep blue to pink or the white colors. So if the time taken will be more than 7 minutes, plants are under stress and you have to provide the irrigations. If it doesn't come to 6 minutes, you have to observe this for another 3 to 4 days. And if it is still 6 minutes, means plants are healthier and soil is having enough soil moisture. So this is one of the simplest technique. So these are all some of the results we got from this CCPD techniques. Some of the seedlings we have taken and we have imposed the stress. Means initially we have given the enough water to the seedlings. The color change will be of 2.47 minutes. And we have given a stress. At the 4th day, plants undergone a stress and the color change will be of 7.5. It means that we have to give irrigation during this time. So same things, last 2018 also we have conducted a trial here. November 2018, there was an enough soil moisture. So the color change will be of time taken for color change will be of 2.23 minutes. And during December, it has increased to 5.26. You can see here, March, during the stress condition, it came to 7.58 minutes. Means during this time, we have to provide the irrigation to our stressed plants. So second approach is the drought ameliorator. First one is the drought tolerance. If you are having the cultivars, you can do it. Otherwise, you can do by second methods. That is the drought ameliorator sprays. It is only the spraying the nutrient mixtures. If you spray this one, the osmoregulations or the osmotic potentials will be increased in the plants, and that leads the plants the solids will be increased in the plants and helps to mitigate these droughts. It is only by some of the nutrients You have to take the urea 1 kg, SSP 1 kg, muriate of potash 750 grams, zinc sulfate 1 kg, and Planafix of 50 ml. You have to dissolve in 200 liters of water and simply spray to the robusta coffee and concentrating on the lower surface of the leaves. So
Hello?
when to do it?
Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, we can hear it, sir. Oh, if you are having any questions, you can ask me at last. So when to spray this? It's 45 days after the last rainfall. If you think January, we received a rain. If you will not receive the rain during February 2nd fortnight, you have to provide this. You have to spray with these nutrients to the robusta coffee plants. And second spray, if we not receive the rain between 32 to 45 after the first spray, then you have to schedule the second spray. And spray solution required 1 liter per plant. You have to spray it to the robusta coffee plants. So this is for the established plantations. This is for the young plants. Up to 3 years, you can reduce the dosage here. Urea, you have to take a urea of 500 grams, SSP of 500 grams, and muriate of potash of 375 grams, zinc sulfate of 250 grams, and Planafix. It is a common thing, 50 ml. You should not reduce this Planafix. And again, the spray schedule should be same. That is 45 days after the last rainfall. And second spray should be during 32 to 45 days after the first spray. So second aspect is the botanicals. If you are interested in organic cultivations, you can think of spraying with the help of the Lantana cambra leaf extracts. The 1% Lantana cambra you have to take, that is a 2 kg. You have to collect the 2 kg fresh Lantana cambra leaves, and you have to chop them into small pieces and immerse in the 10 liters of the boiled water, not the boiling water, boiled water. It is 10 liters of boiled water, and keep it for 24 hours, because all the chemicals which are present in the leaves will come to the waters. So after the 24 hours, you have to filter using the cloth and mix it to water in a barrel and make the volume to 200 liters and spray on the plants by concentrating the lower surface of the coffee plants. Because it is available in your lands, in our surrounding areas. It's available. Common weed. It's a common weed. So this is spray schedule. If you think the first spray should be 45 days after the last rainfall. Again, second spray should be 30 days after the first spray. If more than 15 mm of rain is not received, you have to schedule for the second spray. Even spraying of the leaf extract at higher concentration will not affect adversely because it is a botanical thing. It will help for the coffee plants. If you spray at higher concentration, also it is good. And however, to achieve beneficial effects for coffee, leaf extract at 1% is sufficient. For young plants also, you can concentrate, and it will help to boost the growth of the young coffee. And also it will helps to protect the young coffee from adverse effects of drought, and could be given to the young plants at same concentration. 1% of Lantana cambra extract should be given to the young plants also. So third approach is the reflectance. Reflectance with the help of the spray lamps. It will act as a contact shades, whatever the high temperature. If you are not having proper shades, so you can think of spraying this lime spray. It will help to reflect the higher lights and protect your coffee plants from adverse effects of the higher temperatures. It will protect your photosynthetic apparatus, which is present on the leaf. Okay, foliar spray of 10% spray lime is recommended, and 10% means you have to take a 20 kg spray lime along with 1 kg starch in 200 liters of water, and you have to spray this on upper surface of the leaves once in 40 to 45 days after the last rainfall. So the schedule is same, 40 to 45 days after the last rainfall. And it acts as a reflectant. It's very important. And whenever you are not having proper sheets, you can spray it It will act as a reflectant, and also it reflects the direct solar radiations and reduces the leaf temperatures also. And it will also act as a contact shade and protects your coffee leaves from fluorescence and scorching. And further, it will also increases the photosynthetic activity by protecting from the adverse effects of the drops. So how to prepare? Finally powdered 20 kg lime powder you have to take, and you have to sieve it through 0.3 mm mesh along with 1 kg of starch in 200 liters of water, because it should not clog your nozzles. So we are suggesting you to sieve it in 0.3 mm mesh. And the solution could not be sprayed without getting or choking of nozzles by spraying, and also facilitate sticking of solution on upper surface of the leaves. And spray should be during the 40 to 45 days after the last rainfall. So this is all about my drought management strategies. This is a conclusion, one part. And the growth stage at which coffee plants experiences drought is most important. And you have to employ some of the ameliorative sprays like nutrient spray, or you can opt reflectant like spray lime, or you can opt any botanicals. If you are growing your coffee and organic cultivation, you can opt this lantanicampa. So second important topic is the shade management. At present conditions, it's very important because we are seeing this higher temperatures up to 35 or 35 degrees Celsius. Yesterday it was 35 degrees Celsius here. So plants will be of sensitive to these higher temperatures. If it exposes to the higher temperatures, this will affect the stomatas first. So there will not be any diffusion of gases in the stomatas. All the stomatas will be affected, or it will be burnt, or it will be destroyed because of the higher temperatures. If 1 degree Celsius is enough to destroy this stomatal conductance. So we need to plant more. We need to have the two-tier shade canopy, and the filtered light should fall on the coffee, not the direct lights. So what for this shade? Shade is very essential in coffee. It will help to protect coffee plants from high light intensity. It will help to protect the coffee plants from high temperatures. And it will help to retain the soil moisture during summer conditions. And it will maintain the leaf area. And it will help for the increasing the photosynthetic efficiency. And it will help to your coffee plants overbearing. So extension growth will be good, and low extensions will not be found. It will be found during exposure conditions. And plant innervations is also good during the proper shades. And it will help to maintain the dieback. And also pest and diseases is always lesser in wherever you grow coffee under the shades. You'll find the lesser incidence of this pest and disease, especially in case of robusta. We are telling the voice time borrowment. So if you maintain the two-tier shade canopy, this will not be there, especially. So if you open up one tier, means that will go up. The incidence will take up. That's why we are recommending two-tier shade canopy in case of robusta coffee. And it will also help to increase your quality and also yield. So what percentage of light is required for the coffee plants? So for arabica coffee, we are telling 50 to 60%. For robusta, for unirrigated robusta, we are telling 40 to 50%. And for irrigated robusta, we are telling 30 to 40% of the light should be there in the estates. Normally, more shade will be provided during initial stage of young coffee, because baby care is very important for the young coffee. You will not provide proper shade, so it will going to be affected. It will not grow properly, because soil moisture will not be there in the open conditions. It will struggle for the moisture. So thinned out when the plants gain substance. Whenever it occupies optimum conditions, you can thin it out. So arabica coffee is very susceptible for high light intensity. That's why we are recommending 50 to 60%. If it is less than that, it is very susceptible to the high light intensity. And compared to the robusta, it is high light tolerant, high light intensity tolerance. Means that's why we are reducing it to the 40 to 50% and 30 to 40% respectively. So if you want to plant new shade trees in your estates, how to plant? During monsoon time, you have to take up this planting, and you have to take a mixed shade trees should be preferred. And how to plant the permanent, if you are planning for the permanent shade trees, 12 to 14-meter distance you have to plant. And in between 12 to 40 meters, if you want to plant for the silver oaks, you can plant it at a distance of 6 to 7 meters. In between this silver oaks, you can plant for the Dadaps also at the distance of 3 to 3.5 meters. After well establishment of coffee plants, this Dadaps and permanent shade trees can be thinned out based on the location, rainfall pattern, and growth of the coffee bushes. And some of the allelopathic effects will be there on the coffee plants. You have to take care. If allelopathic effects are there, it will release the allelopathic chemicals to the neighboring plants. So growth will be affected. So some of the allelopathic effect producing plants are these are the allelopathic producing plants. You should avoid as much as possible in your estates. So some of the planting of new economical shade trees also available. You can plant, it will help to increase your additional income apart from the coffee. Some of them are the jackfruits, Oteholi, Antwala is there, Amla is there, Punarpudi is there, citrus species will be there, and the Nerida and drumstick will be there. It will help to increase your incomes also apart from the coffee. So some of the Dadap establishment is one of the thing here, because some of the areas where Dadap establishment is difficult. In that situations, you have to take 2 to 3 feet of this Dadap stakes, and you have to plant it and apply 2 liters of hormonal to the planted Dadaps. After 3 to 4 weeks, you have to apply 25 grams of super phosphate. That will help for rooting, and also profuse branching will be seen in the Dadap stakes. So you have to plant at a distance of 3.5 meters. It means that if you are planting 2 plants, in between 2 plants, you have to plant one of the Dadaps till the coffee becomes a self-shading. Till that time, you have to maintain this Dadap, because baby care is very important here. So ideal shade for the Arabica and Robusta coffee, and we are telling this Arabica and Robusta coffee type of shade. It's 2-tier shade canopy is very important to minimize some of the disease pest incidents in the Arabica. And also Robusta coffee, it's also initially you have to maintain a mixed shades. Later on, you can thin out based on the condition, based on the nature of shades. And how much percentage of shades? Usually we are recommending 50 to 60% of shade should be there in the case of Arabica. And in case of Robusta, if it is an unirrigated block, if you are planning for the unirrigated, 40 to 50% shade should be maintained. And if it is an irrigated Robusta, you have to maintain 30 to 40% of the shades. And how much how many numbers of trees should be there per acre? It's one of the questions. That is permanent trees, 40 to 60 trees per acre should be there in case of Arabica, and temporary 200 to 300 trees. And in case of Robusta, you have to maintain 20 to 30 permanent shade trees per acre, and temporary should be of 100 to 150 trees to achieve this light requirements. So shade regulations, usually we are recommending in case of Arabica, after the crop harvest, we are recommending, because of the incidence of the white stem borer. Now you can stop shade regulations. You can take up during the first fortnight of the June. And in case of Robusta, you have to wait till the receipt of the rain at 100 to 125 mm, or else you can take up the shade regulation during the last week of May. And that should be locked before the onset of the monsoon. So how to measure this light intensity? It is very economical one, and you can get this lux meter in the online portals also. So the cost will be of 1,000 bucks, means 1,000 to 2,000 rupees, or you can 1,000 to 5,000 rupees will be there. So you can purchase this one. It is very, very useful for measuring the light intensity in your estates. For Arabica, in order to achieve 50 to 60%, 55,000 to 70,000 lux should be there. In robusta, in order to get 40 to 50,000, 75 to 80,000 lux, it should come. And to get 30 to 40% light, the lux should be of 80 to 90. When to do this one? You have to take this or record during between noon and 2 p.m. In between 12 and 2 p.m. you have to record the lux intensity in your acids. And minimum of 50 readings you have to take in an acre. And during peak dry period, you have to select not in the monsoon times, because during peak dry period or summer period, you will get to know how much percentage of light falling on the plant canopy. So 50 readings you have to take, and you have to total it. If it comes to 55 to 70,000, you have to understand that our estate is having enough or optimum shades. If it comes to 75 to 80,000, you have to understand that our estate is having optimum shade. So these are all some of the important shade trees preferred for arabica plantations. And these are all the temporary shades. Erythrina is there, Gavilia is there, and Lyricidia is also there. So when to do the shade regulation, types of the shade, there are 4 types of the shade regulation. Usually shade thinning is there. It's also called as shade lopping. Shade lifting is there. Shade topping is there, and whiskering. Try to avoid this shade lopping. You should not lop it. Means if you are having once in 4 years, it is advocate. Not now, because temperature is rising daily. So you have to take care of these plantations in order to prevent from high temperatures. So shade lifting is also there, and shade topping is there, and whiskering you can do it every year. And shade topping also, any looping branches are there, any hanging branches are there, you can remove those branches. But try to retain the shades. So this, if you are not maintaining a 2-tier shade canopy or optimum shades, you normally will observe these kind of problems, such as the flower dropping will be there. So it is only because of the hailstone. It is directly hit on your coffee plants, and whatever the flowers you will notice on the plants will be dropped off. So 2-tier shade canopy is important because it will prevent the stones directly from the stone. So the second thing is, if you are not maintain the optimum shades, you will get this one also. This dieback disorders also seen. It is mainly, it refers to the death of younger tertiary branches, and which is a physiological parameters normally seen during the dry period. So it is exposure to the high light intensity. Because after exposing, the plants will be wilted and yellowing will be seen. After that, yellowing it will drop off. So you have to retain that 2-tier shade canopy at least. The main problem is premature yellowing of the leaves will be seen, and later on it will be defoliated, and it leads to death of the tertiary branches also, and occurrence of rosette branchings will be seen normally during the dry periods. So how to prevent these ones? You have to remove the dead and weepy woods. If anything is there, you can remove it and provide the adequate shades, and conserve the soil moisture with the thick mulch. You should not expose to the high temperatures, because whatever the water which is present in the soil will be evaporated. So if you provide the optimum shades, soil moisture will be retained in the soils. So application of adequate and timely fertilizers is very important, and for a foliar application of nutrients timely, because we are telling you to check your soils first. After that, our scientists will advise you the proper and proper fertilizer dosage. So test your fertilizer soil, and later on you can apply accordingly to your coffee or the robusta blocks. And you have to apply the lime applications, because we are receiving the heavy rainfall every year. So soil will be acidic in nature. So you have to, in order to correct this pH, you have to apply the lime. So these are the one of the proper shade. Initially, you have to establish more number of dadaps here. Later on, you can thin out based on the requirement of the shades. Here also, this is also one of the examples. Initially, you have to plant more number of trees in case of robusta, and you can thin out accordingly, or nature of the shade trees you have grown. So in conclusions, I suggest to you to maintain 2-tier shades in case of arabica and robustas, because present condition is very critical. In due course of times also, it is very, very crucial. So we can expect rain, we can expect the higher temperatures simultaneously. Whatever the moisture present will be evaporated during the stress conditions. That's why I suggest you to maintain the shades. And also the most recent certification used to promote our coffee and its product to environmentally aware consumers is the carbon neutral coffee. It's a present thing. Whenever the importers are started, if you are growing the coffee under the carbon neutral, they are purchasing it. Or you can call it as a zero carbon coffee. So in order to achieve this carbon neutral coffee, because already one country, that is Bhutan is having already carbon negative country now. Later on, the Costa Rica. Costa Rica also, they have started growing this coffee under the shades. Not to get a premium and highest quality of this price for the coffee, you need to plant more number of trees in your neighbors and in your landscapes. It will help to remove the carbon from your atmospheres, and also it will help to retain and maintain your coffee plants. With this, I am going to conclude. Yeah. Thank you one and all for your patient listening. If you are having any questions, please.